While it's maybe not the most important meal of the day, eating breakfast on a regular basis is an important healthy habit. Studies typically define breakfast in one of two ways. Either anything caloric that you eat or drink between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m., or a meal that you eat before starting your day's activities and within 2 hours of waking that contains at least 20% of your daily calories. Either way, breakfast is beneficial. This 2019 meta-analysis showed that people who ever skip breakfast have a 22% increased risk of type 2 diabetes compared to people who eat breakfast every day. And the more often you skip breakfast, the worse it is. Skipping breakfast 4 or 5 times per week increased risk of type 2 diabetes by 55%. And this different meta-analysis that was also published in 2019 showed that people who regularly skip breakfast have a 21% increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease and a 32% higher risk of all-cause mortality compared to people who eat breakfast every day. Now, whenever I talk about breakfast, people are curious about the cause and effect. These two meta-analyses that I just quoted accounted for every diet factor, lifestyle factor, socioeconomic status, demographic, and social determinant of health that I can think of. And we do have a variety of additional studies that help to explain why breakfast is so beneficial. First, we know that eating relatively soon after waking up is an important regulator of our circadian rhythms, how our bodies know whether or not it's day or night and prioritize different biological processes accordingly, as well as of our hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which controls our reactions to stress like fight or flight. So we have a healthier stress response and better regulated cortisol levels throughout the day when we routinely eat breakfast. This in turn regulates appetite, cravings, eating behaviors, and the glycemic responses to subsequent meals. For example, this 2015 study in type 2 diabetics showed an increased glycemic response to lunch and dinner after skipping breakfast compared to eating it. This 2015 study showed that women who regularly skipped breakfast had disrupted cortisol rhythm, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis overactivation, and elevated blood pressure, even though they had the same levels of perceived stress as the women who always eat breakfast. And this 2017 review highlighted the association between skipping breakfast and low nutritional adequacy in adults, likely driven by increased hunger, cravings, and disinhibition. So breakfast skippers tend to consume more added sugars, more saturated fat, more empty calorie foods, and engage in evening snacking. Plus, they have nearly double the risk of not meeting 2/3 or more of the recommended dietary allowances for essential vitamins and minerals. If you're never hungry for breakfast or you wake up with a vaguely upset stomach, some possible causes are poor sleep or insomnia, high stress, hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia, and hypotension. So it's worth mentioning to your doctor. If eating breakfast every day seems really daunting, Nutrivore 90 is exactly what you need. It's my free 3-month nutrition challenge starting September 1st, designed to help you easily develop nutrient-dense, non-restrictive eating patterns as lifelong healthy habits. It's about positivity, consistency, and building habits you can keep forever. And yes, it is completely free. You can join at nutrivore.com/Nutrivore90.